Fusebox.
Okay, this is Fusebox, number 121, safe as milk. And you are getting a little cheesy around the edges.
And you know, that's never a good thing. People want to smear you all over with their nachos and throw canned fruit on your head, maybe throw macaroni at you, you know? Hello, friends, and welcome in to this, the 121st edition of Fusebox, nutritiously entitled Safe as Milk. And I am your curdling, but not in a good way, host, Mark Rose, and I humbly thank you for pushing play on this episode of our oral excursion into whatever it is that we do here. And over there, the dairy-free doctor of decibels himself, Milt Keynes, everybody.
Thank you kindly. No, buddy. No, I do like me some dairy, man. I mean, ice cream in particular.
Oh, indeed. This is definitely the time of year for it as well, as we, hell, even here in Pacific Northwest land, where summer doesn't really officially start until July 5th, typically. That's when temps start to rise, as a rule, but this year...
Hell, we had, 97 degrees the other day?
Are we talking about the weather?
Shit, I think we are.
So, how about those aliens?
That's better.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Studebakers, you know, I really want to see this new documentary that just came out about the, legendary Church of the Subgenius. Thank you. That has, I guess it's been playing some select cities, but usually at like film festivals and things like that. I know there was one in Texas not too long ago.
Oh, yeah. Didn't that band Devo have something to do with those cats?
Well, yeah. Specifically Mark Mothersbaugh of the aforementioned Devo fame, but he, of course, is a very well-respected composer for film and television these days. But yeah, he and also writer Robert Anton Wilson, who is, as we all know, the author of the Illuminati books, and folks like Robert Crumb, the cartoonist, and a variety of renowned artists and musicians at one time or another were kind of hovering around that subgenius scene there.
You know, I only really remember a video that Devo did back in the early 80s. Had some guy running around in like a baby face mask or something.
Yeah, Boogie Boy. Yeah, that was a character that the Devo lads came up with. But the video of which you speak was first shown on that series called Night Flight from, what was it? USA Network? I can't recall. But, I found a chap in Ohio who had taped every one of those shows from the 80s and put them on DVDs. And there was something like 35 or 50 or so. And that piece is on there, as well as, of course, the big hair bands and such. And a very brief video clip from the Church of the Subgenius itself called Arise, which gives you all the backstory of how the patron saint of the church, the infamous J.R. Bob Dobbs, also known as the greatest salesman in the world, was given the prophecy of the church by space aliens known as X's, specifically one space alien known as Jehovah 1, that on July 5th, 1998, the X's would return to Earth and destroy all humans, or pinks, as they are referred to, unless, of course, you had signed up with the church beforehand for a mere $35 to become a reverend, which, by the way, is real.
Wait, what? You mean you can, marry people and get free parking and shit?
Well, I don't know about the free parking, but you can indeed legally perform the marriage service, as I understand it, because I think this comes from the Universalist Light Church or whatever.
Holy carp.
Yeah. Holy indeed, Mr. Keynes.
Wait a minute, though. You said 1998, July 5th, 1998, that the aliens would return and
Well,
destroy.
this is where there is great consternation. As you see, the subgenie believe that, quote, the conspiracy is the reason for all the evil things in the world, and that, in truth, the planet Mars and Earth were actually switched, and that Mars is actually where we are now, and Earth is that red thing out there that looks like the painted desert in Arizona. You know, where they currently film all the Mars stuff. So it's believed that the calendar and time, as we know it, is all a big lie. And we're actually in like a perpetual 1997 loop until the X's finally show up and put the time straight again, and at the same time, sweep up all the subgenius members up into the giant pleasure saucers where there will be all manner of erotic shenanigans going on.
Huh.
Yeah. So they have this documentary floating around out there looking for a distributor, I understand. And I'm sure it won't be too long before this thing shows up on either Netflix or Amazon Prime or one of those things. And from what I can tell, it really gets into the behind-the-curtain aspect of the church there and gets up close and personal with the founding members, Reverend Ivan Stang and Philo Drummond, and Dr. Howell, and Princess We Are Doe. And it might even have the effect of introducing this thing to a whole other generation that missed out on all the fun and games from the last 40 years or so.
Well, no, there's a radio show, too, right? Have I heard this thing?
Yeah, well, I think you probably have. There are several, actually. The oldest one comes out of KPFA in Berkeley, California, called Puzzling Evidence. And it's been going since, I don't know, 79 or 80. And then there's, of course, the Hour of Slack that runs on WCSB in Cleveland, hosted by the good Reverend Ivan Stang, co-hosted by Princess We Are Doe, and often has Lonesome Cowboy Dave as a guest, who is another longtime member and honestly a hilarious guy. If you listen to some of their earlier shows with him, like back into the 2000s and so forth, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Then, out of Atlanta, there is Susie the Floozies, Bob's Slacktime Funhouse that airs on WREK, and I think it's been running for nearly as long as Hour of Slack. And if you want to talk audio collage, this gal is the undisputed queen of audio cut-ups. I have never heard anything like it. I don't know how she does it. I honestly do not know. It's got some sort of galactic resource of clips, and I just don't know how she does this.
Now, I know I've heard those PR news things by Ferdinand.
Fernande Nendi Lemur, yes. One of my all-time faves, along with the most notable Norel Pref. As a matter of fact, I'm going to feature a couple of Lemur's oddities in a bit, as he allows unrestricted sharing. You can find dozens of these things on the archive.org website, by the way, and I'm thinking of maybe, we've talked about this, reaching out to the good Reverend for a Fusebox interview. Maybe we could do that now that this documentary is in the air, and that would be fun. He seems to be rather accessible. You can also check out the website, subgenius.com. It'll also be listed in the show notes down there for all sorts of subgenius stuff. Hours of entertainment there, I assure you, friends, and some incredible art and short films and bug porn. And,
did you just say bug porn?
Get a rise out of you, did it, huh?
Well, if you call yakking up crackers a rise. Well,
the good Reverend Stang has an interest in microbiology, it would appear. He's actually a filmmaker. He's been doing films for most of his life, but he has these fascinating films of like bacteria and protozoans and things like that, all just gleefully budding off and replicating with wild abandon, which they are wont to do, evidently.
Yeah, no. My skin is crawling just thinking about that.
Big world, and room for everything, I always say. And when we return, friends, intimate advances go horribly wrong. Coming up.
The show for everybody, but not everybody will like it.
Fusebox.
From PR News in Washington, I'm capable of conducting search and rescue missions, also transporting boats in Wilmington, North Carolina.
This city, the city, still here.
President Trump.
I think everybody's happy.
President Trump's sexual assault against Judge Kavanaugh.
100% happy.
Trump is accused of being a serial killer. Investigators say Trump has confessed to killing 4 women to set up a militarized Turkey near the U.S.-Mexico border.
Turkey often collide.
The Dow is 93, 92, 2662, 114, 2662. In other news, you're listening to PR News.
PR News. Spelled Gnues. So yes, a little marvel there from the Right Honorable Fernandinende Lemur, and one of his many, 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 and may I add, many PR News, among other splendid cut-ups he does. Most can be found, as I mentioned before, at archive.org. Just type in F. Lemur, and the Lemur is spelled Lemur, and you will laugh yourself into a coma. Just saying. So, friends, there are times when even the best of intentions can go just plain sideways. Take our buddy Andrew Chenault, for instance. He and his lady friend are enjoying a little carnal knowledge.
We're watching a movie?
You're so concrete, Mr. K. No, they were engaging in a little foreplay, it would appear, and during the heat of passion there, it was determined that the only thing that could possibly heighten the effects of this rapturous encounter would be the introduction of a handgun. Andrew Chenault, 23, of Valrico, shot the woman in her upper body with his registered handgun around 12:30 p.m. on Sunday. Deputies say the two were engaging in an act of foreplay involving the gun. The woman, in her 20s, was taken to Brandon Regional Hospital, where she later died. Chenault was later charged with manslaughter with a weapon. He was booked into the Orient Road Jail on a $50,000 bond.
You know, I would say something clever about shooting one's mouth off, but,
That would be insensitive. And seemingly lower. But alas, there you are. Or were.
So how does that go exactly? Hey, wait, hon, I have a great idea. Let me bring this 45 into the mix.
Well, I think it would probably be fine as long as she had, like, a Gatling gun as well, or maybe some assorted landmines, Friends, it's things like this that have us endlessly pondering, nay, relentlessly scratching our nearly bald heads in vain, asking the eternal question,
What the fuck, Florida?
You think that this gun thing is just a wee out of control here?
Yeah, I just had another one of those mass shootings at a public utility in Virginia.
Yes, a very sad one, that. Really, really unfortunate. And again, do we know why?
Yeah, it seemed like it was a disgruntled employee, but I never really heard the end of that story.
Yeah, see, that's another point. Sometimes these events only leave us with the devastating aftermath of the thing, but we don't often, without becoming, like investigative reporters, We never seem to find out what the cause or end result was.
Well, it says here that according to U.S. tracking website Gun Violence Archive, the incident is the 165th mass shooting in the U.S. so far in 2019. It says here that the site defines a mass shooting as a gun attack in which at least 4 people are either killed or wounded.
Wait a minute, did you say 165?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Oh, that's just crazy. All right, we just need a giant lizard, and we need it now.
I mean, if you look at this map that shows all the incidents of shootings, it's like some crazy Jackson Pollock painting or something.
Jackson Pollock, you say?
Yeah. Well, wasn't he the guy that, sprayed paint at the canvas and called it good?
What? Why, yes. Yes, he was. But I'm sorry, I'm just a little amazed. Again, that you knew of Mr. Pollock's work, to be honest.
Well, I do have my moment.
And this is it.
Yup.
Well, friends, we lost another great talent along the way here, too. Just a few days ago, Max Rebenek, better known as Dr. John, left our mortal coil. And as I have mentioned many times before on this program, it's no secret, I've always been a big fan of the good doctor and have had the pleasure to see him live on several occasions. And that cat was amazing.
A lot of folks may not know that he, like that Leon Redbone guy.
Yeah, who also just left us.
Yeah. Well, they both did a ton of commercial work, like jingles and shit and TV themes.
Absolutely. Dr. John there had a string of TV things. I think, Curious George for PBS and K-ville, which I don't think I ever saw, but... and of course he did the famous Popeye's Chicken jingle. He was all over the place and working right up until the end, it would appear. I had this odd feeling about 6 or 7 months ago that someone needs to do a doc on this guy before he leaves us, and not sure that that ever really got done. But there was an episode of Dave Grohl's Sonic Highways for HBO. I guess it had an interview with him, but I've not seen that. I'd like to see it, actually.
Oh, I just dug the guy's attitude. I mean, some of these album titles, man, like Desitively Bonnaroo, Gree, Another Zone, Nolan's Dis, Dat, and the Udder.
Yeah, another one-of-a-kind chap, that one. Gonna be missed. He was born in New Orleans, and he played out here in Portland in 2006 for the Waterfront Blues Festival. That was just after Katrina hit New Orleans and pretty much devastated much of the city. And folks were, as you might imagine, pissed. When Dr. John played out here that time in 2006, he brought a lot of that frustration with him and put on one hell of a show. But also left no doubt that he wasn't happy about the shenanigans and had a couple of rants during the performance there. And he released an album, I guess it must have been 2008 or somewhere around there, called City That Care Forgot. All about those feelings in many ways. I think they're actually still picking up the pieces after that one.
That's just another damn example of, was it allowed to happen so that they could get rid of undesirables?
I have heard that echoed, and that's a horrible thought. But I got to say, even the Army Corps of Engineers warned the city officials, well before that happened, of course, that there were severe structural issues with some levees and that a serious storm surge would be a potential disaster.
Wouldn't be the first time a natural disaster would clear the way for more like land grabbing and backdoor deals.
You know what, though? Louisiana has quite the reputation for shady politics, but the difference being, everybody knows it's shady. It's not sugar-coated and called a wondrous or sometimes tremendous object. When all the time, it's just a bowl of beetles.
I think the secret word for the show should have been bug porn.
Well, that's 2 words.
Okay,
But who's counting, right?
not me. I flunked math.
Well, just in case you were all relieved that giant asteroid that zipped past us earlier in the month was out of the way and clear from our space. There are more dangers! Yes, that's right. The same folks that brought you the Siberian forest exploding impact of 1908, in which 80 million trees were completely destroyed in an over, 800 square mile area? Well, friends, that asteroid clump, known as the Taurid meteor system, spelled Taurid, not the other way, is about to potentially reboot its famous devastation. Or so they say it is, as it swings into our part of space in August or thereabouts.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Yes, the, quote, Taurid swarm, as it is referred to by those who know the swarm on a first-name basis, has been a topic of interest for many years. Now, it appears that Earth passes through this swarm from time to time and is said to be one of 3 space phenomenon that could result in a catastrophic collision, they say.
Well, is one of the other 2 giant mantis alien spaceships?
Well, they don't actually say. They refer to meteoroids and asteroids as the other types of potential planet wreckers.
Well, that's as clear as mud.
The NASA experts say that the, quote, swarm is created when Earth passes through debris left by Comet Encke. You have license for that, Encke? I don't know. The comet's dust speeds through Earth's atmosphere at about 65,000 miles an hour and burns up and creates a meteor shower. You kind of get this image of Earth with a propeller on its backside, whooshing through space, don't you?
Yeah, like playing Deep Purple's Highway Star on its in-dash 8-track stereo in space.
I can totally see that. Yeah. Has a little rubber band around the propeller, you know? The mind boggles.
Atta boy, Jimmy. That's the way to turn 2. All right, boys, go hit the showers. I'll be there in a minute. Oh, hello. I'm Coach Pop McGraw. Sometimes I gotta give my boys a pep talk to get the best out of them on the old ball diamond. And now, I'm here to give you a pep talk to get the best out of you too. Baseball, well, it's been my whole life. And nothing pleases me more than helping young boys like you grow into good young men. And baseball, our national pastime, is how I do it. My boys learn to rely on each other, especially when the chips are down and we need to score that runner from second base, or strike a batter out with the bases loaded, or maybe even sock a homer in the bottom of the 9th to win the old ball game. Fusebox understands teamwork. They're winners. Why, they know that being a member of the team means helping your teammates to win the big game. And that no matter what, they're always behind you 100%. We all want to be winners in the game of life, boys. And purchasing Fusebox merchandise shows that you're not only a winner, but a good teammate as well. Scientists have proven that Fusebox merchandise not only makes you run higher and jump faster, but it also increases self-confidence and improves your posture. Boys, I have it on good authority that President Eisenhower himself enjoys Fusebox merchandise. So be a winner, boys. Go to thefuseboxshow.com and buy Fusebox merchandise right now.
It's a home run every time. Visit thefuseboxshow.com today. That's thefuseboxshow.com.
Sexual.
Yeah.
This is PR. PR comes from the Shilpertutions Foundation and from the PRFouncils.org.
As a the top top the
no go and no go going and
Astronomers say they have discovered the smallest beef planet yet. The team of astronomers say it is the most beef-like planet they have ever detected. The National Science Foundation says it's an important breakthrough in the quest to answer the question, are we in Washington?
And on that triumphant tootment from Mr. Fernandenendi Lemur, we will mop up all the spilled milk and cry our way downstairs into the fruit cellar, but not before thanking our non-dairy contributors, Nico Lane, Eric Newsom, and Jeff Pollard, and also to the sonic wanderings of Mr. Fernandenendi Lemur. Thanks, as always, to the completely pasteurized and gluten-free technical assistance of the irrepressible Milk King.
Thank you kindly. So where was that bug porn again?
See? I knew that would get you. Subgenius.com. And without an O. Some folks mistakenly spell genius with an O. I don't know. And certainly, friends, a much and very huge, with tremendous hands, thank you to you for pushing play on this edition of Fusebox, and I humbly urge you to subscribe and like and all those things we're told to do these days on whatever platform you have found us, be it Apple Podcasts or Stitcher, or be it the very OnSug themselves. We do so much appreciate that activity from you. I have been your roadside stand of boiled peanuts in the land of milk and honey, host Mark Rose, saying, until our next cartoon. Fusebox.